Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Eric May, and on behalf of OTC Markets, as well as our co-host Murdoch Capital Partners and TA Advisory, we are very pleased you have joined us for today's uranium and vanadium company presentations. Our next live presentation is from Madison Metals, Inc. Before we introduce our speaker, a few points to note. Please submit your questions in the question box to the left of the slides. If you are interested in scheduling a meeting with Madison Metals, please click on the Meetings tab found in the left navigation bar. You'll be able to view the company's availability and submit a meeting request. On a final note, all of today's presentations will be recorded and available for 24/7 replay. At this point, I am very pleased to welcome Dwayne Parnham, Executive Chairman, CEO, and Director of Madison Metals, Inc., which trades on OTCQB Venture Market under the symbol MMTLF and on the CSE under the symbol GREN. Welcome, Dwayne.
Well, good morning, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day to all our viewers. I'm Dwayne Parnham, Executive Chairman of Madison Metals, and today I'd love to present to you the opportunity that this newly formed company is engaging and hopefully providing you with a thesis to invest in the future of clean energy. Forward-looking statements from the legalities and stuff and such. I would likely be making some forward-looking statements, so here we go with the legals. Just a bit of an intro and a welcome. I've been working in the mining industry for many, many years, and I've got vast experience in developing these types of projects, and I'm extremely excited about the uranium prospects today, having done this before in Namibia and abroad. We'd like to invite you to join us and invest with us. Madison is a team of highly experienced professionals committed to innovation and providing you with sustainable future in the uranium industry. And this all is geared towards, help protecting the environment and meeting all of the global environmental standards of today's world. We are an upstream mining company, an exploration company focused, again, on sustainable uranium production. Using these cutting-edge technologies and strategies that we've developed internally and practiced through most of our professional lives, we're positioned to take advantage of our expertise to quickly fast-track our projects. We have a collection of mining engineers that have worked in Namibia for the past 22 years, including myself, and excellent geological staffing that have worked with us in the past, and we're happy to have them back working with us again for the future of building Madison. 5 key elements that I think you'll find exciting with this company. The management team, as I mentioned, we're all experienced. We've done it before in Namibia. We've licensed a uranium mine. We're all innovative. We love using technologies and using different ideas to capitalize on our goals and objectives. Our assets are purely and truly world-class, and I'll get into those a little bit later. And I don't think you're going to be able to question the jurisdiction. We've been working there for many, many years. We have the capacity to navigate through the political, the environmental, the financial system, legal system in Namibia, and we just find it an amazing place to work. And then the new innovation that we brought to this project is how we're going to monetize and provide the capital required to meet our business objectives. And I think you'll find that a very enlightening and new and innovative way, much different than many of the micro and small cap companies that you've witnessed or are about to witness. Looking at uranium, there's no question. I think the global consensus is price of uranium is destined to increase. There's a supply gap to meet the growing demand. There's issues, geopolitical issues. There's political issues of moving from hydrocarbon to clean energy. And in my mind, in my experience, there's no better solution to meeting this growing demand than getting back into the nuclear energy. Nuclear energy meets all of the clean initiatives, zero carbon emissions, low footprint, sustainable base demand, and it's low cost and it's proven. So I think nuclear has a place in the future, and I think it's going to grow, and we'll see those fundamentals increase. When you look at the actual uranium itself, when you look at 1 pound of uranium and what energy is produced compared to all the hydrocarbons, you can see it's compelling. So, again, smaller footprint, more energy for a very little material. And I think that's going to be a future in the solution to our growing demands. As far as the monetization program, I found a way to provide capital to the company through meeting and forming an alliance with the new tokenization world of today. So basically, what we're doing here is we're bridging traditional financing and traditional methods of funding these small cap companies with the ecosystem that's built around digitizing assets. And I believe that in that system, there's a real need to find real world assets to stabilize the values that created over there. What it does for Madison is that it takes a traditional $2 a pound in the ground valuation that we would traditionally get from the investment community, and we would get multiples much higher than that. How we're doing this? Well, I've worked 22 years in Namibia. I licensed a uranium mine. The government of Namibia in 2007 imposed a moratorium on exploration and development for uranium. That moratorium lasted 10 years. During that period from 2007 to 2017, a lot of companies were unable to advance their exploration projects due to low uranium spot pricing, and projects were handed back to government. Due to our work ethics in Namibia, our capabilities and our abilities to execute on advancing projects, a lot of these projects were offered to myself and our team at Madison, and we're happy to present a pipeline of very excellent uranium projects that we feel have the capacity to be advanced very quickly. These projects are staged from exploration prospecting licenses to mining licenses, right close to 2 existing uranium mines in Namibia. So the close proximity, the geological environment, and the fact that some of these lands have historical resources gives us an opportunity to start from a known and grow from that position. We're backing these tokens with these in the ground assets. Again, some of these prospects have known uranium resources to them, and what this map just basically shows radiometrics in the areas that we want to expand, and we have a good prospectivity there using just geophysics and using drilling and using our geological knowledge over the years in Namibia with great confidence that we have the capability to expand these resources. From these resources, that's the resource that will back the token. Sorry, jumped ahead. This is just a geological caricature of the geological rocks, the formations, and where previous drillings and geophysics has been conducted in areas where there's known mineralization, and it's the area where Madison will be conducting its future drill program to expand these resources. Working in Namibia, again, 22 years working. Namibia is a jurisdiction that is known. It's very favorable for uranium development. It probably accounts greater than 8 to 10% of the world's supply. It's one of the top 5 countries providing uranium to the globe. The area is easily accessible. You can see on one of the pictures, there's a pickup truck parked beside uranium exposure, the yellow staining in the rock that we can see at surface is actually uraninite. And you can see also in the pictures, there's no, overburdened rocks or trees and lakes and towns and things. So very, very accessible. This road is actually one of the roads I built for Valencia, and it takes you into the mining site there. Lots of infrastructure, power, water, labor, etc., and roads. So we can easily access these prospects. We don't require, we can access basically year-round at all times. So we can fast-track exploration in Namibia, and we've done that This just gives you an idea. This is actually the world's largest open cast uranium mine called Rossing. It was discovered in the late 20s, went into production in 1976 by a company called Rio Tinto. It's been mining continuously uninterrupted since that time. It's currently owned by the Chinese government. And what I particularly like about this long-standing uranium prospect, it's in, again, close proximity to our lands that we're developing. But Rossing has also experienced an expansion whereby the current resource in this pit will be depleted by 2025, and Rossing has an expansion plan that I feel will be geared towards satellite deposit mining. So it's just too expensive to push back. You know, a pit like this, it's about 340 meters deep. So they will be looking for expansion through satellite deposits, which fits very well into Madison's business plan. The second mine in Namibia that's currently in operation is called the Husab uranium mine. It's in, again, close proximity to our lands, our pipeline of exploration and development lands. It's owned also by the Chinese government. But this is a new mine, and with these two operations, they'll be providing close to 10% of the world's supply. They do have contracts outside of the Chinese government, so they are providing uranium for multi-government end users. How are we fast tracking? Well, in our monetization program, we have 10 years to put our product to market. But how we plan to do that are some of the things that would advance Madison into fast track scenario. Mining licenses have been issued, although those licenses are for other commodities. Because there's a mining license, we can easily apply and move those licenses from others' commodities that they're mining for to uranium, if that's the case. We're going to be using inexpensive open cast mining methods, and we've put some cost to that, and I think we can come in at very competitive low rates. If I'm able to, and this hasn't been done yet, but if I'm able to establish a tolling agreement, that would save us, with Rossing, that would save us considerable capital for building our own plant. It would reduce the environmental footprint. And if Rossing's already looking at satellite deposits, then perhaps Madison would provide an excellent opportunity for our feed to be milled in their project. And then I can reduce costs by use contract miners, so we don't have to put upfront capital again. We can bring a mining team in, and again, it's just open cast, so it's very simple, easy mining operations. It's been done in Namibia, it's been done abroad, and it's proven to be cost effective and able to speed it up her production. So we're looking at a number of cash flow mechanisms in the future for Madison. One being obviously the mining operations above and beyond the tokenization that we're doing, but also we get some revenues from the fees that are created through the tokenization. So we're looking at a number of revenue streams that potentially could come to Madison in the very near future. One of the things I'm particularly proud of in my 20 or 30 years of building these companies from a startup to development stage or to M&A, what I've done in the past is share structure, and I think that's an important element that investors need to evaluate apart from the management, apart from the assets. But share structure to me is extremely important. With a proper share structure, proper ownership, companies can ride difficult times and then participate very nicely in good times. So with our share structure right now at Madison, we're 23 million shares issued outstanding. We are just received $1.3 million in warrants that have expired on the 26th of January. So those warrants and overhang have been removed now from our cap structure. The only warrants outstanding are the second series of financing we did, and those are 861 are priced at around 90 cents Canadian. So those are the only warrants that are in front of us, which is very, very low. So on a fully diluted basis, we're running at about 26.5 million shares issued and outstanding. I believe that, Madison would be one of, if not the first microcap company to be approved for a share buyback. Normally, that is not done because companies of our position are mostly aggressively seeking capital. So we would be in the street trying to raise money, diluting the shares. But in our case, because I flipped the business model upside down and receiving capital up front before the mining, I felt that at times it would be very appropriate for the company to buy back shares. So we've been approved to buy back 400 or 940,000 shares, over the next 12 months. And when the situation's right, we will participate in buying back shares. As far as the ownership, insiders own a good position, the public float, and then, the vendor shares that are out there as part of our insider team are very, very friendly to us. And then, institutional represents a small part. There's also shares that are held in escrow over a 2-year period. We've only listed this company in May 2022. So as part of the listing requirements from the CSE, we were issued escrow from the regulatory body, but we also have voluntary escrow on vendor shares. So that just helps keep the overhang and those shares, protected and sold over 2-year period at various stages. As far as the management, the key main principals, myself and Dr. Roger Lane. Like I mentioned, I was the founder of Forces Metals. We licensed the mine Valencia in Namibia. That was a $45,000 startup, and during the 2006-2009 uranium cycle, we were able to get the company to an 860 million market cap. So we certainly know how to technically, managerially, and financially advance these uranium projects. We've done it before in this jurisdiction. With Roger Lane, just an amazing scientist that has a whole track record of uranium exploration and development from Areva and onward. I hired Roger and brought him to Namibia in 2007. He worked with us to develop Valencia, and I'm pleased to have him with us here at Madison Metals. Other key personnel that's with us, CFOs, Ryan Thompson, who's on the call listening in. Hopefully I'm not saying anything that he's cringing, but he's provided us with a lot of good strategy. And Mary, of course, in Namibia, that's providing us with geological support. In closing, why look at Madison Metals? And I just believe that the energy sector, this whole clean energy sector, is investable right now. We're very early in it. I think there's lots of opportunity, like companies of ours. And I understand we're a bit of a micro cap, but I just believe that with our business strategy, we're going to have the ability to grow. And this management team has done it before. We've created over billions of dollars from small cap startups to M&A to licensed uranium situations. So you've got a good management team behind you. I own my shares. I've bought my shares publicly. So our initiatives are aligned with all the shareholders. And then, we have to have a high quality asset to advance and to create that value. And I believe that what we have established in the pipeline of uranium projects in Namibia are significant. They're certainly have the capability of creating more world-class mines like Rossing and Husab. And then using innovation, this is new, and I know there'll probably be lots of questions on how we're doing this, but, bringing in tokenization, the digitization of assets, I believe is the future. And BlackRock is certainly, Larry Fink at BlackRock has certainly been a proponent and publicly stating that future of financing is going to be tokenization. And I believe that community is looking for ideas like this. Uranium is absolutely perfect for a lot of reasons why it can be a stable asset to back coins and tokens in the crypto world. And then with the fixed share structure, I think shareholders can have confidence that, we're not going to be out there diluting the shares. The worst thing I know from my personal investment experience, the worst thing is that we make all these promises about, having all the capabilities to advance projects. And then, you find that your share position gets diluted and diluted each time they do a financing with warrants and all these other things. So with Madison Metals, I assure you, because I'm a large shareholder, we'll keep that dilution factor to absolute minimum. And I think we not only will keep it to a minimum, but we'll also buy back our shares to actually improve that situation. And then with revenue streams that we're looking at in a very short period of time, I think this makes an absolutely amazing investment thesis. So on that note, I'd like to thank you, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you. Yeah, okay, so I have a question about the capital position and funds available. So we're running at about $1.5 million roughly, and we do have a 5,000 meter drill program budgeted for early 2023. Over the next number of weeks, you'll see some of the monetization flows. So I think we're going to be well funded for 2023, not only to commence our first drill program, but expand that drill program. So the next major catalyst for Madison will be the monetization initiatives that we have underway. It's still early in that transaction that we're working on, but I believe we'll have significant advancements in the very near future on that, and then followed by a pretty expensive drill program. As far as, and these are all really good questions, guys, and thank you very much. As far as the infrastructure in Namibia, I think this is one of the elements that separates Madison from others, because we're so close to existing mines that our green footprint will be minimal. We have roads, one of them I built, and we have power, labor, road access to the project. So I think I can't think of a better place to advance a mining project, but right here in Namibia, right beside two mining projects. And then, so our drill programs, thank you, Bill, for your question. Drill programs over the next 12 months. Well, we're going to be starting with an initial program to verify and fill in some of the blanks on the historical resource, but we've also been able to expand our target area in area number 1. So I believe we'll be probably quite aggressive on our drill program over the next 12 months, starting with 5,000 meters. We are 100% focused, and thanks, James, for that question. We do have a Kenora project, which was a project that I vended back in 2006. It's in Kenora, Ontario, and it does have geological significance similar to Rossing. But if I was to say, how quickly can we advance a company using the projects that we have in the pipeline? Without a doubt, Namibia will be much quicker, much faster. So yes, 100% focused on Namibia, and we'll be looking for a joint venture partner to help us maintain and expend money in Kenora. Any of the institutionals friendly? Well, I mean, we had institutions. There's no real named, big named institutions, US, that's part of the initiative that we have. These are small Canadian institutions and also friendly shareholders from the vendors in Canada. The whole point of our OTC listing was to broaden the horizon, broaden our investor base, and we're slowly doing that and moving the audience from a small, friendly shareholder base, small institutional Canadian base, to a more broader US base. So we're in the process of doing that. Drill starting probably early March. That's a question from Brian. Thank you for that. And then there's another one here. Is funded, so you raised. Yeah, so we'll give an update on the tokenization funding. That's going to be coming in the very near future. So that's going to be a catalyst and news advancement that we're going to be presenting to the shareholders here very shortly. And then sort of James is looking for Drilling, starting number of drills. Okay, so we're going to start with one drill, 5,000 meters in a known area that we know where there's uranium, and we've mapped favorable rock types, and we've also seen uranium signatures on the ground. So we're very confident that the drilling program will expand the known resource. So the advantage of a tokenization strategy is very clear. We have able to capitalize our project to meet our business objectives by forward selling uranium to the tokenization group. So in fact, it's how it works is that Madison Metals has entered into a sales forward project that is very common in our industry. It's nothing more than selling forward through a streaming or through a royalty relationship. Only I found a fourth buyer for uranium. Traditionally, three buyers would be utilities, trading houses, or government for stockpiles. And then I found a fourth buyer in the tokenization world. So by using uranium to back the digital asset, it gives a stable token that can be pegged to the price of uranium. So that's an amazing element. It's very new, but I believe that it's going to be used more widely from companies with us. So we're the first to do it. So I think over the next number of months, we'll be able to provide guidance on how well this is going. And I think that's the questions. Thank you.